What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast. It is the Monday Night Wave, baby. And we back. We back with another one of them things, one of them peak wrestling episodes. If you're listening to this on Spotify, sub to us on YouTube. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We everywhere. We live, baby. I go by Jay, a.k.a. the Lonely One, a.k.a. Mr. Podson Reed, Podman Page, Podwell Jacob Friedman, because I pod better than you and you know it. Jacob Pod 2, Mr. Respect the Jumpers in the building, ladies and gentlemen. But I would not be anything without my co-host, Mr. Quattro, the heroic one. Please take it away from here.
He is a wild card. He is the king of gorgeous. Oh, that doesn't sound right, but oh well. He is Mr. Sexy Ass.
Lottery. He is hero, and I am he, and I'm feeling as youthful as ever. And if the man I'm about to pass it to is the real OTC, then I cannot wait to be Paul Heyman's hand, because I'm trying to.
Wait, hold on.
I'm talking about WrestleMania 41, baby. That tribal meat. Give it to me, DT.
No, pause, bro.
What?
Put it on the table for all of us to see. Put it on a platter.
Bro, we're not even 2 minutes in. We're literally not even 2 minutes in, bro.
You're the man what you want. Tribal combat.
And for the love of God, there better be at least one fucking pineapple.
He's a funny ass nigga, bro. He's a 69 God. What are you talking about? I can't even intro myself, bro. You go from sounding like you have mesothelioma to fucking trying to. Oh my God, that's insane.
I thought this thing was Laurinaitis. Who was he mocking?
Sleepy Hero, former president, Sleepy Hero. Thanks, Uncle Joe. All right.
Wow. That is an insane intro. It's your boy DT. I don't even want to say. I'm the other co-host. I'm the other co-host, the clairvoyant one, a foreseer, truth teller, and a ghostwriter for the WWE product. Let's get to it.
That's right, baby, and the triangle mega powers are so triangular that if we were a PS1 game, we would be lower cross chest.
You know what? I'm not mad at that. That is a pull.
Thank you.
That's a pull. All right? I'm going to let you get that one off. I was like, damn. That's a good callback.
Shake it.
I just want peace. He only want problems. I don't want peace. I only want problems.
All right, people. Light news week, but a whole lot of lies. And we're going to get into them from the man himself.
Oh, my God.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was on the Pat McAfee show this week following people's critique of the WrestleMania ending on night 2. And I didn't know what to expect when I saw him. I was like, maybe he's going to get up and like kind of, big up the product and whatnot, kind of fill in the holes that we didn't see. Nope, that nigga didn't do nothing of that. Nope, none of that. He went into business for himself, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read off some of these statements from The Rock here. He says that he knew that after Elimination Chamber, the final boss is not needed at WrestleMania. He says he wanted to keep the spotlight on John and Cody and let them do their thing. He said, let's step back into the shadows. Let's let all that spotlight go on John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul or John's soul. Let them do what they do. The Rock says he could have been involved in the WrestleMania 41 finish, but instead wanted the spotlight to be on John Cena and number 17, which is the championship. Rock says that TKO CEO Ari Emanuel called him for help because ticket sales were low for Elimination Chamber, and he wanted something must see.
Cap.
He wants Cody to eventually turn heel because of how smart he is. He said he pitched Cody turning heel, and then according to Rock, Triple H decided to go with Cena. The Rock understood that when people saw Travis Scott, they would thought that he was going to come out. He said he would adjust the finesse, or he would adjust it or finesse things a little more. He says he called Cody and Cena after Elimination Chamber and says, "I think the final boss work here is done." He says he liked the WrestleMania finish, but he would have gotten there a little differently. He would have created something a little bit more different. He also says that he was watching WrestleMania at home and knew all the finishes. He then also says that he hugged Jacob Fatu backstage. So,
at the same time,
he also said he didn't know Travis Scott was going to come out, but he knows all the finishes.
Yeah.
So, my illustrious panel of great wrestling minds here. Where do you guys want to start first?
This is a classic case of just shutting the fuck up. You didn't even have to appear. You didn't have to say nothing. As a matter of fact, you should have appeared at WrestleMania. And then once you decided not to, then you should have just never appeared again. But instead, you show up on Pat McAfee's show and you pour salt in the wounds of all of the people who paid $25,000 to watch WrestleMania 41 live and in color in Vegas. If you were a John Cena fan, super fan, you had the opportunity to buy the ring gear, the outfit that John Cena wore at Elimination Chamber when he turned heel at WrestleMania for a whopping total of what I believe was $50,000 or something crazy like that. If you were a super fan, you had the opportunity to have a closed dinner with 10 other people with John Cena for $25,000 a head. So if you take $25,000 for front row seats, you take another $25,000 to see John Cena, then you take another $50,000 if you were that super fan. You spent $100,000 for a weekend. This is not including airfare. This is not including food. This is not including a hotel. This is not including anything in WWE World. None of the sort. And that was the finish that you got. You had to choose, potentially, between night 1 and night 2. And of course, if you've been following the story, you're going to choose night 2 because you believe that The Rock, the final boss, the long gamer, the great one, the people's champ, was going to show up and continue the story that he injected himself into this past February. That did not happen. I would be pissed if I was somebody that paid that much money. The Rock wasted everybody's time. He wasted the storyline. He wasted creative's time. That was disgusting, despicable, underhanded, and it was goddamn treason if you were a wrestling fan. And normally, personally, I wouldn't be this upset. But nigga, you lied to me, and I don't like being lied to. And that's where I'm gonna stop for now. I'm gonna let somebody else take over.
Yeah, but did you have anything else? Or
No. I'm gonna close it up.
Okay, cool. So to add further to what DT was saying, even if you like he said, he's upset. I'm upset too, and I feel like a lot of people are upset because it's like we didn't have to pay that money. We weren't in Vegas, but we were still invested. And like DT said, like Elimination Chamber was the last day of February. So that's over a month that's a month and a half of us like trying to figure out where's the story going. Like with the promos with Cena. I remember before Mania, I asked you guys on the show, it was like, why would they even mention The Rock at all during this whole promo stuff? And now it kind of makes sense why they didn't mention The Rock. It seems like which I'm going to call cap on the manual request myself also. But it seems like there was never a long-term story. Like, we still have no idea why he put up 3 fingers at Bad Blood in Atlanta. Which, if that was like, there was no long-term story with that, that means Punk and Drew could have main evented. So you took away from, you should have.
Yep.
So you took away from that. You give us the hottest angle ever, hottest wrestling angle ever, but we don't get any payoff from it. And it's like, again, like, you should have just never have been there. And WrestleMania, or the Elimination Chamber tickets were already selling pretty well. So let's say there is some truth to what The Rock said about Arya asking just to show up to, like, boost some sales. You should still have a long-term plan for this, because again, you're just interjecting yourself in a story, and just into the ecosystem in general that these writers and H and whoever else, they take, like, they don't make these stories day to day. Like, sure, there might be adjustments, but they make some of these stories months in advance. So it's like, when you just show up willy-nilly whenever, which was my problem with last year also, then you're either halting a story, or you're forcing yourself into something that now we have to adjust on the fly so that we make it make sense. And this was one of those moments where it didn't make any sense. Like, Elimination Chamber was fire, but now when you look back at it, it doesn't mean as much, because what the hell was the point? Like, you just showed up and, like, you gave the hottest angle for us to not get a payoff. So, that's not foreshadowing. That's not story. Like, you pride yourself on being this great storyteller and, like, in the love for the business, but on the other hand, you show up on a damn talk show. Which, as soon as we saw him wearing glasses and a button up, we should have already known he was about to lie his ass off. Just FYI. And just like, oh, it's all a work, and like, and then he's passing the buck. Like, if you like listen, like, your quotes, like, you reading the quotes didn't do it full justice. Like, he's damn near blaming Triple H and whoever else. Like, he's just like, it's not really my fault. I was just, trying to do this, yada yada. But and then it's like, I didn't want to show up because maybe. We don't know how long, we don't know my schedule. Then you should have just never been in an Elimination Chamber to begin
Yeah.
with.
And really quick, I want to correct myself. I was wrong. It wasn't $50,000 for John Cena's outfit. It was $75,000.
75, bruh.
$75,000. So I just want to correct myself. I apologize.
Both of y'all made really good statements. I'm gonna break it down a little bit more from my
Sorry,
how I see it.
Ghost Rider just showed up. Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself.
When he said, like, oh, he wants the final boss to step back into the shadows, and let's not make it all about Cody's soul and whatnot. Nigga, you did that. You made it about the souls. You made that peak storyline to where, like, okay, well, damn, like, Rock showed up. He's making about the souls. Of course they're going to talk about it. You implemented that, like, that key factor into that storyline, right? When you're also sitting here talking about, I think the final boss's work is done at Elimination Chamber. It was like, technically, yeah, but also you create this character of the final boss. You got us invested in who this person was. This wasn't like we needed to see it all the time. It could have stopped last year with Cody and Roman, and then cool, Rock is gone. But you did the whole final boss shit. You did the watch thing, the watch exchange. You hold my belt, I'll hold your belt. Like, all these weird ass fucking things that happen that just, like, we're just rocking with and waiting for you to come back because we want to see something, like, fulfilled out of that. When he talks about the ticket sales in the Elimination Chamber were slow and Ari wanted something must see, I looked at that as like a little bit of disrespect. What do you mean must see? The Elimination Chamber main event was must see, both of them, right? The men's one had Drew, Punk, Seth was in it, like John Cena's there. That is already must see, TV, bro. Like, we don't need anything else added to that. Mm-hmm. So either Ari is just looking to get as much cash out, like, as he can out of the WWE product, which is every business owner's thing, but also, like, don't stifle the talent and say something. We need something must see, and we're gonna bring in The Rock, nigga. No, we was cool without that nigga, bro. Like, the shit was already booming. Him saying he understood that, you know, people thought that he was going to appear because you saw Travis Scott. Yes, nigga, because you brought Travis Scott in this bitch.
Mhm.
We didn't ask for Travis Scott to be here. He was part of you. So if we see this nigga, okay, we think he's coming. It's like, imagine WWE hits the DX entrance, right? And we hear the music. And it's Triple H and then it's Road Dogg. It's like, where the fuck is Shawn Michaels, nigga? Like, we looking for DX, nigga, not the other nigga. Like, bring the entire fucking team, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, and just from a storytelling standpoint, to go off of what you're saying, to like from a storytelling standpoint, the story starts off with you being one of the catalysts,
yes,
taking the soul of one of the biggest baby faces in the history of this company, and then you're not there for the payoff of it.
Yep.
You know,
he's a catalyst for a lot of the shit, bro. He's a catalyst for a lot of stuff, and it's like, we should have kind of called it out sooner, to where like his hand was just everywhere and it didn't make any sense. But instead we're like, okay, Rock wouldn't just leave us out. He wouldn't just cut the story off, right? He wouldn't just not show up. We didn't think that would be possible, and now we're here like, oh shit. Yeah, he is definitely shitting on Triple H. A lot of people were upset that like he was like yo, why are you doing your boy like this? To save face for you? And rightfully so. They was killing The Rock on Instagram. That nigga was getting flamed up. I think DT said tonight too, like he went and checked, like he was getting torched, bro. Like, so it's you get what you get, bro.
Do you know the WrestleMania moment it could have been if John Cena would have turned heel at WrestleMania instead of at Elimination Chamber?
yeah.
For the last 2 months or 3 months, whatever the case, it could have been this story of John wanting to get 17, wanting to be the greatest WWE champion. The only person in the way was Cody, and he was conflicted, or whatever the case. And that night, you could have did a ref bump. John Cena could have kicked Cody in the balls, hit him with a chair, cut him open, made him bleed, take the belt. All the stuff that he did at Elimination Chamber could have happened at WrestleMania. And instead of Cody getting booed out of the arena for no reason, John Cena would have been booed accordingly, the way he was supposed to be as a heel turning at WrestleMania. So when he says, I wanted the spotlight to be on them and da-da-da, you sucked all of that away and took all of that away 3 months ago. Because this could have been the angle. And then we would have had to deal with, then it would have set up Cody being away for however long he's away. And now we can look at Orton and Cena in a different light. Because it's the first time John Cena is fighting somebody as a heel, and it's one of his longtime rivals. You fucked up a whole whole storyline.
It's like when Thanos showed up at the end of the very first Avengers movie, but Infinity War Endgame still come out, but he's not the main antagonist. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, why did you give us? Why did you give us that amazing foreshadow? Like, and you were like, you think we're like, it can complain, and then it's like, bro, you don't have to physically show up. If you're the final boss and you're just this TKO, like you're on the board, you can fucking zoom in every once in a while and make decisions. Just be like, I'm The Rock. I'm calling in. This match is canceled or some like. You don't have to physically show up all the time. Granted, it's better, but there's so many other ways to go around it. To what DT was saying, and yet Cody got booed. And I mean, and this is where I'm gonna kind of blame maybe the producer or Triple H in this.
Here we go. Yeah,
they made Cody look fucking stupid, and that's one of the reasons he got super booed. And we didn't like super get into it last week, but like they made him look stupid, and that's the easiest way to make a crowd hate a babyface is to have a moment where the heel and him fight over a weapon, and then the babyface is contemplating, should I use it? And no, I don't. And then that's how they lose. Like that's one of the easiest ways to get a babyface to be booed.
Especially if the babyface is not going heel, right? If there was some trepidation or like some moment where Cody was like battling with being a heel throughout this entire process, I could see that being part of the story. But if Cody's not being a heel at all, why did he even pick up the chair to decide that he wanted to hit him or not anyway? That shouldn't even be a thing, right? I will also go back and say that I will have to give some shit to creative, Triple H and producer, whoever wants to take credit for it. Because after Bad Blood, why do we keep bringing Rock in? If there was no finish for Bad Blood with the 3 fingers and shit, it should have been, okay, let's not make this a thing. Let's not keep going back to the well if he's not going to fulfill that role or that situation. Because the more times you went, the more time we're left strained, like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, that's weird. Okay.
I think the reason why is because there's a power struggle behind the scenes that we don't fully know about.
Probably.
And fully understand. Because Arari and The Rock are really good friends. Like, he used to be his agent or something like that. I think, I mean, and there's rumors, there's speculations, but yeah, I feel like if you think about after Mania, or I don't remember if it was Mania or not, but there was a moment where Triple H and Aldis and Pierce are in the ring, and Triple H is like, "Don't let it get confused. I run this shit." Like, and that was also to like kind of like deter whatever was happening last year with The Rock's involvement and shit. Like, I think there might be a power struggle behind the scenes that we're just not seeing, to where it's like, if Arya, who is the owner of TKO, if he's like, "I want my buddy to show up," what Triple H can't say necessarily no. Now Triple H, what he has to do is like, all right, how do we incorporate his crazy ass ideas so that we make it make sense and everyone can be happy? And sometimes it's hard as hell, especially when you have the ego and egos are involved and money's involved and time schedules involved, and you got
I'm very interested. Go ahead, my bad, DC, and I'll get out.
This is what happens when. So it's a 2-pointer for me real quick. The Rock is used to, I think, both The Rock and Triple H. Overall, they're both used to being able to operate under like the VKM era. So if Vince called The Rock and was like, "Hey, I need you to pop in, pop out, whatever," The Rock could pop in, pop out, and Vince didn't have a problem with fucking up storylines. Well, we know that Triple H's whole thing has been, since he's been in control, is everything has to connect. It has to lead to something else. It has to be a cohesive story. The Rock is cool with coming in, coming out, doing whatever he wants.
He froze.
Huh? I froze.
You're good. Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. Finish. I don't know where the hell you froze. I don't even know, nigga.
It has based off of what Triple H has been doing, it has to connect is what I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so from Triple H's standpoint, the stories have to connect, but also Triple H is used to the VKM era and style of WWE runs the company. Well, that's not the case anymore because you got bought out and somebody else owns it. Mm-hmm. So if you have someone who isn't a part of the creative and doesn't own the company the same way that VKM did, you have someone else who's higher who owns everything. If he wanted to, he could fire all y'all motherfuckers. And that's what it is. So it's an adjustment period, and now you're seeing literally what Hero said is like there's a power struggle. You got one entity that's used to being able to be in full control. I might have to run some shit by one person, but they own the company. I got them in pocket. I can pretty much do what I want for the most part. And then you have another entity that's saying, well, I could pop in and out whenever I want to, and there was never any issues of people adjusting around me if we just wanted to create some buzz or, wanted to create like a headline or something or whatever the case. And that's where that gap in that struggle is at.
In closing, I'm a little interested in seeing how like the AAA acquisition actually goes through, because like from what you're talking about, it's like Ari's about the bread. Ari's trying to get paid. He wants to get as much money as possible, right? You just bought out a company, which is spending money, so you must see some kind of potential in the AAA aspect. But what are you trying to change it into? Like, what's the end game here? It's very interesting. I'm gonna keep a close eye on that for sure. Don't want to stay on this topic too long, so we'll jump into Raw this week. Raw after Mania. This is a high show that people look forward to. Show kicks off with Mr. Cena himself. First time we see John Cena with the belt. I had more notes, but it looks like some of them got deleted. My keynote that I have here is that he has 26 dates left, not appearances or not matches.
Well, he has 26 left now because he shows up at SmackDown, but on Raw it's 27.
let's say it's 26 now, like, and that's not including matches. That's just 26 dates that he has to appear, which is not a lot, bro. From here to December, not a lot at all. We spoiler, but we know that one of them's going to be at Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
So we get Randy and John Cena at Backlash, and that was announced later on SmackDown.
We'll probably get Money in the Bank. We'll probably get a couple of the. We'll probably get the next couple pay-per-views, but yeah, I wouldn't expect him to see him every single Monday and Friday.
No, not at all. I think they go to Clash. I don't think he'll be in Clash. I don't know if he goes to the UK.
Maybe.
But we'll see. What is you guys' thoughts on like the 26 dates? How do you see this playing out? What do you think is the likelihood of how to orchestrate this his schedule? How would you do it? If you're in the Booker seat? I know Hero just mentioned that he would do like, you know, the big major PLEs and whatnot, but how do you schedule John Cena?
Okay. Well, for sure the big pay-per-views. I don't know how it. Like I was saying earlier with The Rock, like if you go back to like old Hollywood Rock when he was like talking shit to Hogan while he was on the movie set, I would add a couple things like that, like a couple promos of whoever where, you know, he's on the set, like he's not on show, he's on location or whatever, but like you can still visibly see the title or whatever. But I'm like I after he won, I tweeted, it was like, I want to see all the hits. And this was before he released the dates, but I was like, I want to see him and Carlito one more time. I made a joke. I was like, bring in Big Show. And I had some freakazoids in my mentions because I was like, Paul White ain't doing nothing right now. He can fight. So like, there's a part of me that wants to see the hits. Like, we're going to get Randy. I feel like we have to get Punk. I feel like we have to get Punk just for the same way that we're getting Randy, where it's like we haven't seen the dynamic of a heel Cena facing his former bad guys. Like Randy was a fucking menace in his life, Punk was a menace in his life. So just for that dynamic in general, I want to see that. But other than that, man, yeah, just from the top of my head, I would just say, like, for sure the big pay-per-views, have him, if he's not going to physically be there, have him do something just so that it feels different than a Brock and Roman era where people aren't there all the time. Just something different. So like he's shooting at whatever film he's at, and he's just talking shit, eating grapes or whatever. I don't know, whatever. But just something like that.
26 dates, appearances. You've got Backlash. You've got we already know he's at Clash in Paris. You got Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. He's definitely going to do a Crown Jewel. You got
for sure.
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
That's around the time he's supposed to be done.
December will be his last match. Survivor Series is normally in November. So you for sure got him booked for 7 matches for sure. Then you're looking at 19 more appearances. Mm-hmm. So if you did 2 shows a month to build whatever the next storyline is. Yeah, that's literally it. Actually,
yeah,
I think that's going to be that's going to be the
math in my head. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So he gets to revel in the Roman Reigns schedule for a year before he's retired.
By this logic, we've seen John Cena for the rest of this month. He should not pop up at all.
So real quick, as of 5 days ago, the most recent schedule of his is So we just had the 25th. So the next May 9th SmackDown, then May 10th for Backlash, May 24th for Saturday Night Main Event, May 30th.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. May 30th SmackDown, June 6th SmackDown, June 13th SmackDown, June 20th SmackDown, and August 8th SmackDown.
How many dates is that? Like count like individually.
So after we just so 1, 2, oops. So that's 8 more dates just from there, and that's
nine.
Nine.
Money in the Bank is June 11th.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just as of right now, he's not advertised for that.
Yeah.
These are just everything that he's quote unquote advertised for.
Okay. To be fair, that kind of makes sense if he's not at Money in the Bank because the cash is probably going to happen on Jay. If John is not there, or if they let the men with the briefcase hold it, which they haven't really done that in a minute. I think the last 2 they kind of cashed in immediately, if I'm not mistaken, or except for Priest. Priest had that bitch for a year. I take that back.
Yeah.
Tiffany held it for a minute.
I just meant from the men's side. We normally with the men, they get that bitch off and ready to go, with the exception of Priest. I do like this. I like the thoughts that we got. It's just fuck, bro. We're gonna see how this works. The concept of him facing his Sinister Six probably not gonna, as much as we want it, probably won't happen. And if they do, it's gonna be some multi-mans in there at some point.
Well, it's not the Sinister Six because he's a bad guy. He's fighting the Justice League or the Avengers.
Yeah, but he can't fight okay.
No, he can't put on a match the same way that he used to.
Yeah, and he's
you could
not.
Tell Cody had to slow down.
Yeah, he's not as superhumanly strong as he was way back when. So he's gonna need someone else to help him fight these people along the way. He's not gonna do it by himself. And I don't want to hear no. I don't want to hear no shit about Travis Scott.
We not.
I don't want to hear that. I don't, because if you wasn't even gonna take your lick back from Cody, you don't need to be in the ring. If you can punch a nigga in the side of the face and fuck up his ear, but then you got to make sure you protect it on the crossroads. You don't need to be in there, bro. So, I ain't gonna let you disrespect Bad Bunny's legacy either. Bad Bunny was really about that shit, so I ain't gonna let you do that.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, we can't have that. So,
all right, getting out of this. Liv Raquel versus Becky and Lyra for the tag belts. They had just won these joints night 2.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh off the press, right? They lose these belts. Raw after Mania.
No.
First thought,
for the most part.
First thought,
Bayley
I'm gonna fuck y'all up for Bayley, bro.
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck y'all up.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't deserve that shit, bro. You could have ran the match with Bayley and Lyra, and then did the next day a rematch where Lyra brings out Becky. Cool, whatever, bro. But to completely take her off the run and with all the work she's did, trash. And then the Fred or the Chris Van Vliet interview came out. I don't know if y'all checked that out with Bayley.
Oh, I
Great fucking
did.
interview.
Definitely did.
Great fucking interview. But she's sitting there she don't even take it personal. And I respect it.
And she already knew too, because that interview took place. I think it took place the Thursday, the week of Mania. So it's she already she's like, man, by the time this comes out, woo, yeah, she couldn't even say. It's like, fuck, man.
And he's sitting there what does that mean? It's she already knew, bro. Bayley's a true legend. She's a true fucking legend, basically.
Yeah.
True fucking legend. She didn't deserve that. I'm gonna fuck y'all up. We see that Gigi and Tatum Paxley are also ringside for this because they're doing the NXT. The NXT people NXT women get a title shot. Match was good. Hero did say that the match was dope. Raquel has some pretty dope spots in here, but the story is Liv and Raquel recapture the belts, and Becky turns heel on Lyra. I don't know what to think of it. This is going to be a let it play out for me kind of thing, because if I say too much, it's going to sound like I'm being negative about it. I get the idea of rubbing Becky off on Lyra to kind of boost Lyra and get Lyra some momentum, but it was out of nowhere. You come back after a year and you taking it out on Lyra. That's just my thoughts. I don't really have anything else to add to this. I feel like it was easy to tell that this was going to happen. Did I think it was going to happen the very next night? Absolutely not. I did not think it was going to happen in a 24-hour period. No. And also you could have Bayley still could have had her Mania moment, and this storyline could have still happened. Like you said, they could have had the match with Bayley win on Mania, and then maybe Bayley's just so injured she can't do the match on Monday, and then fucking Becky shows up and takes her spot or something. You could have still got all that, and then
like, yeah, you could have still got the same results, but without making people upset and like, overshadowing Bailey. And yeah, I don't know. It could have played out better. And then the beatdown was kind of awkward too, because like Becky had to go in like 2 more times, because like at first, like, I don't know if this was Lyra's fault or if this was just a miscommunication, but like Bex turns on her, and then like Lyra's just kind of like looking up, and it's like, well, since you're so cognitive right now, defend yourself. But you're just letting your mentor stomp on you. And then she leaves, and it's like, oh wait, she didn't get enough heat. All right, go back in, keep beating her ass. Because honestly, like, Lyra wasn't even like laying down, like she got like, she was like on the ground, like she got attacked, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it was weird selling. So then fucking Becky had to go back in, attack, and then it's like, all right, get some more heat. All right, fine, 2 manhandle slams, 2 rock bottoms, and it's like, I don't know, it could have been done so much better. I don't know what what it was.
The fans were chanting one more time
Yeah.
after the manhandle slam. So like
Bro.
they weren't even. It wasn't even like the fans were mad that she turned. They just wanted to see. They wanted to see violence. That's what they wanted to see. At the end of the day. They didn't give a fuck.
And honestly, I feel like this is a whole conversation that we can have on a different day. But I feel like that's kind of one of the Achilles heel of how hot this business is right now, and just how smart the fans are, quote unquote. And this is in every company. But like, even when Bronson Reed did the shit with Seth, they wanted one more time, where it's like, as long as you do something cool, people are more than likely going to chant for you. It's like they don't even. Sometimes it's like, fuck the storyline. It's like, you did something cool, do it again. Where it's like, there was someone else who got one more time chants during Mania, and the switching between booing Cody on Friday and then booing him again, and like all this other random stuff. I don't know. Fans are. It's one of those fans are fickle, and it's just, I just want to see some cool shit. Yeah, go ahead and hit her again. Fuck it.
Beat that bitch ass. We don't care. She said you was your mentor and you said you would do anything for her. Beat that bitch ass.
Crazy.
But like,
you gotta be careful.
But same with later in the show, Rusev. Like, spoiler, we get a debut. He attacks 2 baby faces. They said do it again. Like, they were cheering for him. And it's like, he's a heel, and everyone loves Otis. Last time I checked, but the fans are still like, hit that nigga again. it's like
yeah. First off, we have it's New Day with Alpha Academy. New Day kind of like dips off when they see that Rusev comes out, and he just lays out Tozawa and Otis for no fucking reason. This is a tag team segment, and Rusev debuts, which makes no fucking sense to me, and it makes Alpha Academy look like assholes. Like, not assholes, but just like, oh, y'all just pawns. Yeah, you getting jumped. Like, for what? Yeah. Rusev could have came out for the IC belt or something like that. He could have came out and fuck with Dom or something. I don't know. But yes, Rusev is here. I got no feelings on Rusev being back. I have nothing against Rusev either. I thought Rusev Day was one of the biggest things that went over in WWE that was not fully capitalized on, in my opinion. But we're going to see where he fits in this current regime. These are different friends now. 5 years is a long time to be away from WWE. You got to come back in with a whole different mindset. And so hopefully he's ready to come back with a different mindset. Hopefully he's going to be inducted into like the mid-card scene. And we'll just go from there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything else to really add to that, because I originally thought he was like, just send his ass to NXT. But yeah, for me, it's one of those we'll let it play out, and that's not to be disrespectful. It's just like their men's scene can use a little help. But it looks like he's in the mid card scene. The fact that he's attacking a tag team, and then we're probably going to get him and Otis next week in his like debut match. So we'll see, meat men type of thing. We'll have a meat match, but other than that, I'm gonna kind of let it play out, because I don't know what the ceiling is for him in this regime. Also, so.
DT, you got any thoughts on Rusev? I know you just don't really. You're like,
no comment.
Fair enough. I will tell you, highlight for me on Raw this week: EO versus Stephanie fucking Vaquer. Oh, man. Fire match, graps galore. Wasn't a quick match. They got some time. The only thing I didn't like was the ending, because I hate being fucking pump faked. I hate, like, give me a finish and we can do a rubber match at some point. I love the rubber match idea and concept. Like, even if somebody loses, let's run it back at a different time. The DQ finish, I'm over it. I'm sick of it. But anywho, match-wise, fire. These women are let me see them do it again.
Yeah, no,
on like
for
a big
real.
stage.
And the
if y'all
funny,
going to Mexico, let me see it there.
the funny part is that like to me their chemistry wasn't even on like that. Like, I want to see this like 2 more times when they really can like. I mean, granted they got the time, so they could cook. Or you know,
give me a best of 7,
man.
Give me an Andrade Carmelo situation. Let me see these women go.
But it was cool. Obviously, Vakir is still NXT Women's Champion, so I wouldn't say it's a call up per se, but you know they're indoctrinating her into the main roster so that the main roster fans could also get a feel from the ones who might not watch NXT. You know, and then we also get a Julia appearance, which is nice,
Roxanne.
and then a Roxanne appearance, which we've seen her a few times on the main roster, but then I know she's been back and forth at this point, but it was a nice showcase to be like, yo, these next 3 are kind of like what's up next. Just so y'all know, just so y'all know, like these next 3 women are the future. Like, you know, when they get on the main roster, they're gonna be the ones. Like, so pay attention. Eventually, like when they, But yeah, cool segment.
You got fucking Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne, Jordan Grace coming up next. Like,
and when she did the Devil's Kiss, the crowd reacted to it. So like, at least they were tapped in enough. They were tapped in enough to know you got Yeah, no, I almost asked my wife to leave the room before the match started because
this nigga. Anywho, the talent coming up in the women's division in NXT is about to be fire. I mean, hey, if they add Mariah May to this, it's about to look crazy in WWE's like women's scene. Like, it's about to be fucking dope. DT, you got anything before you get out?
There's no reason why Roxanne should not be on the main roster.
No,
especially after Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. She should have just been on the main roster. Like, stop with the pump fake shit.
Yeah,
and it could be like, my bad. Go ahead, Hero.
No. I was just going to pick it like, because like her and Bayley are supposed to have a program, and it seems like they dropped it for no reason. Yeah, but like
that would have been fire at Mania. That
unless she was the one that attacked Bayley, and she did it for the big time Bex.
Yeah. If it wasn't Becky, then Roxanne makes sense. Actually,
you don't rob the Mania moment for that though. You could do that.
You don't. You don't.
No.
Anywho, you don't.
Yeah. Anywho, Roxanne definitely should be on the main roster. She, especially because she was I think it was her and Charlotte as the last 2, right? Was that Roxanne was like
she was in the top 3 for sure?
Yeah, maybe she was top 3, but she was definitely in the last group.
It was her. It was her, Liv, and Bianca were the last 3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because she beat Bayley's record from last year as the longest women standing.
So
you talk about Rumble or Chamber?
Yeah, Rumble.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was talking about Chamber, and then the Chamber was her, Liv, and Bianca. I think were the last 3.
Yeah,
and then, she was one of the last in the Rumble too.
Yeah, bro, she can ball. They need to stop bullshitting. That's what they're doing. They bullshitting.
Yeah. Speaking of bullshit,
Segway King,
Evolution 2.0 possibly.
Wait, what's bullshit about this? Wait, hold on.
I've been in evolution.
First thing I noticed is that you got Paul with the mic or whatever, and look who's holding a motherfucking hand out like they the tribal chief. God damn.
He been wanting to cosplay for the longest. Go ahead, do your thing, big boy.
I mean, he created them, but whatever.
What? I'm like, he's doing all the mannerisms. You holding your hand out now? Like, acknowledge Seth Rollins. Acknowledge the architect. Hey, Seth should get a shirt that says Needle Maker.
Wow.
It's amazing that we pick and choose when we want to lean into shit on this show. When we want to lean into who create. But when a nigga said he created them like 7 months ago, that was an issue. That was retcon. Niggas, you stop retconning that. They got back together 3-4 times. I don't even know why it's a big deal.
Okay, well, yeah, and I have a screenshot. You told me that's not the story that they want to tell, so I'm agreeing with you. That's not the story that they want to tell.
It's crazy because, both this wouldn't happen without, like, y'all points wouldn't happen without Karrion Kross. So we just got to acknowledge the real God here. Puppeteer real architect Karrion Kross.
What an amazing random promo on that Sam Smith. What is it? Sam Wasn't? I Am Sam. What is that nigga's name? I can't think of it.
I don't know, nigga.
But it got headlines. It had headlines. Like, people was like,
it was the lines were blurred between real life and work.
Because Scarlett was like, you look it up. She even dropped his real name. She's like,
hey, anyway. Man. Like, hey. Anywho. This promo's fire, yo. Like, we got the crowd is cheering his name, like chanting his name. He says he took the wise man, he stole a best friend. Enters, Punk comes in. Paul says, "You screwed me and put me in a position with my tribal chief." So Paul Heyman's saying, if you never would have did this never would have happened. If you never would have made me choose between y'all, I would never have went to Seth Rollins. So it seems like some of the blame is going on CM Punk. Punk gets fucking eye gouged and gets hit with a stomp. We ended with there's a new reigning and defending number one top star in the industry, and it's Seth. Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Rollins. Tribal Chief's not having that. We get Roman Reigns' appearance. Roman comes in, spear to Seth. Superman punched the wise man. Somebody in a black hoodie spears the goddamn shit out of Roman Reigns. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Lo and behold, Bron motherfucking Breakker. Bron's in the big leagues, ladies and gentlemen. Biggest pop of the night for me is seeing Bron Breakker drop the belt and immediately get thrusted into a superstar position. Like,
we just talked about it.
Such a dope ending for this Raw. Such a dope moment for Bron Breakker. What's the thoughts, guys? How do we feel? DT, you go
up. We literally just talked about it. We literally said they can't keep holding him back and keeping him in the mid-card spot. We just talked about it. And this is the perfect way to do that. He loses the mid-card belt and he pops up on the biggest, maybe one of the biggest storylines in the company right now. And it's good because it adds a layer. It brings him up to that next level. Seth doesn't have to wrestle every week. He can just come out there, people can sing his song and then boo him. And then Bron Breakker can come out, motherfuckers start barking, and Seth can just point, and a nigga can just get speared. And right now I'm really rocking with that element. I just want to see Seth point, and Bron Breakker just take off like a heat-seeking missile and just blow somebody's shit up. I know Bron can talk, but I don't even need him to talk right now. He don't even need to talk. We know he can talk, but he don't even need to talk. He just straight pure muscle.
Enforcer.
Seth just point, and the nigga just poof. It's like when you throw the blue shell. Like when you throw the blue shell on Mario Kart.
Like said just point. Yeah. Hero, what you got? How'd you feel?
I loved it. I was surprised once I saw the dude run the ropes, I was like, oh, only someone is that fast. So once I saw him run the ropes, I was like, oh my god! And then once he took it off, took off the hoodie, pause, and I was like, oh my god! And by the way, the only person in the last 3 years to wear a black hoodie that's not tied to the bloodline. So shout out to that. They don't monopolize the black hoodie anymore. But I think this is a cool thing. It seems like they are slightly trying to transition, whether it's a real or whether it's just rumors. It seems like they are trying to transition Seth finally to that spot. And Heyman's the perfect person to do it because every single time not every single time, but when it comes to someone like a Roman or a Punk or a Lesnar, when Heyman is attached to them, their trajectory goes up, and it seems like Triple H is like, all right, Seth, you're finally going to be the guy. Seeing Dolph, aka Nick Nemeth, he made a tweet that was really perfect about it. I'll read it later, but overall, I think it's cool. Rumors are people on, and then it's like, oh, is this going to be Evolution 2.0? If that's the case, I'm fine with that. If this sets up Bron Breakker to be the next Batista, I think that's fucking perfect. Who the Randy Orton would be, no idea.
I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who are like Austin Theory. It's like they've been trying a lot with him, and they still got to do the whole Grayson Waller stuff. So we'll see. But as of right now, I don't know. And who that Randy Orton spot could be, if that's even their goal, because they could add a woman. They could add a woman to it. His wife just turned heel. Although I think that'd be too easy to just add your wife. And also, last time I checked, I believe they said they don't necessarily want to work together like that anymore after their time already doing that. But minds could always change. Yeah, I know. I'm interested. To me, To me, it's must see. It's a great ending to a Raw, and also a lot of people love this Raw. They were like, "Man, this Raw was better than WrestleMania and all this other shit." And same with SmackDown. People love this episode of SmackDown. I just think it's very interesting to see like the Raw and SmackDowns get so much praise, but people were hating on the Mania so much. And maybe that's also tied to our Rock conversation, where maybe there's like certain handcuffs to where Hunter couldn't cook as much as he wanted to. Who knows? But I just think that's also very interesting.
Yeah. The question about who's the Randy is that's a good one. I really don't know. I saw people kind of like prophesizing on Nathan Frazier, but then he popped up on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that's not going to happen. But if it was Nathan Frazier, I can see that. The dude is cold, but we're not going to split up a really good tag team.
Nope. Can't do it.
You can't, bro. Fraxium is fucking ill. Yeah.
I mean,
unless they bring them both.
I'll say this now. Fraxium should have been on Raw. Raw needs fucking tag teams. But them being on SmackDown is amazing because now SmackDown has even another good tag team.
Their tag team
Raw needs tag teams, bro. It's New Day, LWO, War Raiders, and then Alpha Academy, Creed Bros, and I guess 2 Judgment Day members whenever they decide which 2 want to be it. Like that's it. You know? But meanwhile, you got Pretty Deadly, Profits cooking, DIY cooking.
Shout out to JD. JD returned to this episode too. We did.
To
JD McDonough did come. We didn't talk about it, but JD did return. So shout out to JD.
JD comes, and Finn didn't know. Like they're still very slow cooking this. Somehow Finn's gonna get out the Judgment Day. Yeah, unless Dom leaves, but I think Dom is like the real mastermind behind the scenes at the end of the day. But yeah, that was Raw.
Yeah. What you got, ET?
I'm going through the roster right now. I have 2 questions. Okay. Depending on the answer to the question from you 2 will depend on who I put in this spot. Okay. Do you want this alliance, this group, to truly be booed? That's the first question. Or
nigga, it is not Logan Paul.
Swear. That was the call up.
Hey, you better watch your goddamn mouth over here. Ew! Don't ruin. Ew!
I'm listen. If Logan can shut the fuck up,
not happening.
He might be able to learn something.
That's the only reason they keep him. Is because he talks.
I hate that, but it makes so much sense. I hate it, but it makes so much because he is the
he will get that group like booed the way they need to be booed. You have someone who is so loved in Seth Rollins, and you have someone who the universe is waiting to pop. They are waiting for him to pop. And then I have a second question.
Okay, yeah, who's the other person? Because I have two like dark horse picks for the Randy. Now that I think about it,
this is out of left field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you call up All Ego, Ethan Page?
That was one of them. I think that's a choice. I think that's a choice. My other one, give it to Trick Willie. Let's add some color in the group. And he's like, if we talking about like someone who's like really Randy-esque, someone who's tall, got the physique, and could talk, and got the
bruh.
Let's do Trick Willie.
That group could potentially be probably the most over faction. No one's gonna want to boo that group. There's not gonna be anything that you have.
It makes it uncool.
Yeah,
it's too cool.
3 people whose entrances
too cool, nigga.
The crowd is invested in, and it doesn't matter which one comes out. The only person right now that'll get booed is Paul Heyman when he says "ladies and gentlemen," because now he's back being the heel manager we hate. But if you put Trick Williams in there, or you put fucking if you put Trick Williams in there, all 3 of them they're gonna get pops. They're not getting booed. So you have to put somebody in there that either the main roster, the main fan base isn't as familiar with, and he can do some shit that'll get the proper heat, or you have to put a nigga that everyone hates in this group to ensure that they are booed appropriately. Now, imagine a Seth Rollins and Logan Paul tag match. I don't like the nigga, but I'm saying imagine the match.
It'd be great. It'd be great.
Let me add on to that, because I was about to say, like, if Logan Paul is that fourth member, it makes the most sense because, like you said, he garners the most heat. You're gonna automatically boo. The idea of Logan Paul being a Paul Heyman guy, it would work so well.
Paul and Paul, I can see that. I can see a shirt. Paul,
bro, it would work so well.
Paul is a Paul guy. Bro,
What?
You can make so many dumb shirts.
Let's push it a step further. Logan Paul wins Money in the Bank because that's his kind of match.
Nope, I'm with
you have Mr. Money in the Bank, Logan Paul. If he has the briefcase and he does carry for like a long period of time, bro. If Logan Paul ends Jay's reign in the faction,
bro. Yeah, no, bro.
I think that goes. I think that goes against
the money.
Seth's whole point. He wants people to be work. He wants people who work there consistently. Logan Paul's not one of them. That's why. That's one of the reasons he's anti-Roman. He'll show up. Like
everybody got a price.
I don't think Seth is going to give a championship to a nigga who don't show up.
Everybody got a price, man.
But
it was in the evolution process.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
It does make sense. I think Ethan is a really good choice. I think
Ethan's dope. I love Ethan Page.
I'm gonna go with Trick Willie just because I want some color. Granted, Bron looks Puerto Rican every other week. I want some actual color.
You said Dominican Breakker.
I know black, puppy. I know black. I Dominican. I break it.
Oh, that's funny.
Bro, you can't put Trick Williams in there because he's not getting booed. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that Trick Williams can do on the main roster to get booed because he's already not getting booed.
It's too late.
He's beating up Javon Evans and Obafemi.
Yeah, it's too late. But Melo would have been perfect. It's too late now, but Melo.
I thought about Melo, but
Melo would definitely fit. That would have been perfect.
But I need Melo don't Miz. I need that for a while. I'm very entertained by that. I'm very sports entertained by this tag team right now. But I gotta do the stream of justice. It's about time to hit the commercial break. Let's go to AEW.
Yeah, we'll be right back. We're back, people. We're gonna jump into Dynamite real quick. In the big old New Orleans. Show kicks off with the one and only Master P. It was announced, I think, the day before that Master P was going to be on the show.
Make him
never,
say,
nah.
I hated it.
Never thought I would hear that in 2025 at a wrestling event. And you want to talk about somebody with a pop? Master P in the NO had the whole crowd rocking, yo. He introduces the Trios champions, the Ops, and then he requests the crowd, says, make them say, which they do. I have a thing with celebrities in wrestling because it just looked a little funny, but I'll get into that. Enter Death Riders. Death Riders end up coming out and whatnot. And as Joe's sleeping, putting Mox in the sleeper, you got Master P letting off blows.
Hitting him straight in the liver and shit.
This was some of the worst punching I ever seen.
I didn't like it, bro.
Oh no, it was very bad. It was very bad.
I didn't like it at all.
But he didn't bust his eardrum, so I can give him that.
Fair.
I'll give him that.
Fair.
He didn't injure Mox. I'll give him that.
Fair.
Wouldn't have been bad.
This segment ends up where you have Death Riders, you got fucking Bucks are coming out, Swerve comes out, Kenny's out there. We say all that to say that I believe at Double or Nothing, it's going to be Joe versus Mox for the AEW World Championship. That looks like the angle. I think because Joe did call him out.
And I think Mox accepted. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he accepted.
Of course he accepted, because he gonna win.
Well, I mean, there's a reason they finally making him look weak.
Yeah,
it's because he's going to win.
Shit.
He got choked out twice. But then again, it is Samoa Joe. Like you can't.
It is Joe.
You can't do none of that fake. Or I wouldn't say no, because he actually does do like sports combat. But yeah, like this is Joe though. Joe different.
We're not like about to damper Joe's power because of Mox. I won't accept that.
I mean, he gonna get choked out.
Yeah, till the finish.
Unless Joe's like, no, you ain't choking me out. You have to use a paradigm shift. I refuse to go any other way. That's I can see that happening.
Well, based off of like the shenanigans already, we know there's going to be some bloodline like shit happening.
Oh,
There's too many people involved in like this whole ordeal.
I'm just saying the finish because I have a hard time thinking Joe is. I have a hard time thinking Joe's going to get choked out. But then again, we just saw Gunther get choked out, so I don't know.
Yeah, he could just jump on Joe back and just hold on tight and not let go, like In Vogue.
I love that.
That's funny. You see that later on the show.
You just made a bunch of 50-year-old black moms proud with that reference. I'm proud. Fuck it.
We see that Stokely Hathaway ends up coming back tonight. Tony Schiavone introduces FTR, which gets immediately cut off by Stoke, and I'm so happy to see Stoke back on TV. That's one of my favorite like personalities to see, bro.
For real. He's been gone for like 8 months.
For a while.
It's been a while.
For a while.
Ever since Chris and Willow broke up for the most part. So he's been gone for at least since maybe a year almost. Almost a year.
It's been a minute.
It's almost a year.
The last thing I remember of Stoke was that he was looking at tag team tapes, and we thought that he was going to be Private Party's manager based off of him like doing that whole like scouting for tag teams. Well, lo and behold, he was actually scouting FTR. Somebody had showed the promo again like on socials, and like while he was looking at those tapes, he had a whole bunch of FTR like DVDs and tapes and stuff like that as well. So there is some connectivity that they're doing with that. But yes, Stoke is part of FTR. He says FTR was suspended and was fined for accidentally hitting someone and touching Tony Schiavone. And that's interesting to him because Hangman Page commits arson. Ricochet comes to work every week and shanks people with scissors. And shall he lists all of John Moxley's crimes: act of terrorism, kidnapping, extortion, and yet he walks around AEW unpunished. And at this moment, I said, this is a hero promo.
Yeah, it is. I was like, facts, bruh. I was like, yes, someone is saying what I've been saying. He also mentioned someone getting set on fire. I'm like, yes, thank you, Stokely. Someone pays attention to the show.
I was like, this is a hero promo for sure. I said, he's saying everything my nigga would say verbatim. And he's not wrong, bro. He's not wrong. This ends up
that
with...
That tracksuit was fire, by the way, just real quick.
It was.
Man. Let's go.
So don't see Stoke out. They end up calling out Rock and Roll Express, who are like wrestling legends in the audience or whatnot, or in the crowd. They've actually done this spot a couple times beforehand.
Man, they just got kidnapped 3 months ago.
But I love the gimmick of like the old wrestlers who just, we still got it, and just get fucking power drive. Like, you guys are part of the show. You make like these moments really like dope.
And they still work. Like, they still work like legit matches. Whether
that's
it's
so cool.
Whether it's in AEW, because it has been in AEW before, or it's still indie shows and shit. Like, they still work. Like, so yeah, kudos to them as far as like staying away from drugs and dying young and all this other stuff. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know if they drug free, but they look good for their age to be still wrestling. And yeah,
it was dope. They as FTR unveiled their shirt, which is "Living Legend Killers."
Jesus,
look. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what
I know. It's just like I know, like I do like FTR, but they are.
Can they kill Edge or kill Cope?
Yeah, but there's some dick riders, man. Like every single time, and I mean this with respect, because I know Cash carried a blicky on him, but like whether like it's rated R, it's rated FTR, or it's
CMFTR.
It's CMFTR, or it's FTRKO, and it's like, y'all, like, don't y'all got your own steez? And like the Legend Killer stuff, that's a Randy tie-in. Like, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a Randy callback, and also because Randy and Edge were team partners. I like the Easter egg, but also it is some dick right. But I do appreciate the Easter egg.
I'm more literal. It's like y'all live in Legend because I better see a new group of old retirement wrestlers every week that y'all just killing off, right? Because I need to see it. Like,
Can
the
you
shirt
start
has to
with
mean
the-
something.
Can you start with the last outlaw?
Yeah, y'all take out Dusty or Dustin. Like, go ahead and just get him out of here. So we know.
Dustin, Jeff Jarrett, nigga, Billy Gunn, nigga, who else?
Like,
Keep
go
going.
after some OGs in this bitch, bro. Like, I need to make this has to be a real thing.
Paul White.
But yeah,
but
that's how
tag teams. I thought, or at least right to make it make sense. Or are they just really Legend Killers? Because if that's the case, I'm fine with that too.
No, just go jump somebody, stomp their ass out,
Okay, I feel it.
Yeah.
and have them put
Just
on
make
the
sure they
gurney.
old. Just make sure
Yeah.
they wrestled in the Attitude Era. That's the criteria. Did you wrestle in the Attitude Era before? We're taking you out.
Was Nixon president?
Jesus. They need to pull up to Hogan's house.
Fuck.
No.
I'm giving a quick shout out to the tag match with Kevin Knight, Speedball, and the Bucks. The Bucks returned to AEW TV after I think 6 months or whatnot. I love the fucking match. I thought the match was fire to me. That's just my personal opinion.
I will not repeat what I did weeks ago. I will say this. The match was good until there was a spot where they all four just took each other out. And then two of them got back up and took each other out again. And then I just fast forwarded. I was like, all right, let me go to the Herb Syndicate segment.
I thought the match was fire. I know what you're talking about too.
It was a high. It was a high. Like until that part, I was rocking with it. I was like, man, the Young Bucks. Like, I was like, okay, they got some juice in them. Like, there's a reason they took a vacation. I was like, okay. And then that spot, I was like, all right.
Yeah, all right.
I was like, let me get to the part I really want to see, which was literally the next part. But
Next part. Hurt Syndicate.
We hurt people.
This is a dope.
We hurt people.
Yeah, it's lit.
Jesus Christ.
Straight up.
Bobby's trying to get some stuff off. He's trying to take the mic and start his promo. Immediately gets interrupted by a car on the Tron, and it's MJF in a nice little sports car.
And Burberry loafers, you feel me?
Burberry loafers.
Pull up on me.
Tosses the keys to the man and said, here's your tip, and meat checks him. I laughed so fucking hard at that, bro. That shit was so fucking wild. Max says that, we know that they had a good time last week, and if they want to have a good time for the rest of their lives, all he needs is 3 thumbs up. Three thumbs up, bro. That's all he's looking for. MVP gives one. So does Shelton. He didn't get the third one just yet, but he said, hey, Bobby, just relax.
He popped for that second one, and I'm going to pause that. But he popped for that second thumb because Shelton was in the middle, and then Shelton was like, yeah, I'm not doing this because, the ladies you gave me or the nice watch. I'm doing this because of MVP. Yep.
Before Bobby can make his pitch, he says if he's in the Hurt Syndicate, they'll get all the money, the power they want. He says Lashley brings a lot to the table, but there's things that MJF knows that he doesn't. He knows the place in and out. He knows how to cut corners and win by any means necessary, right? And if he's in the Hurt Syndicate, they just won't run AEW. They'll run pro wrestling. And then he says, you know what, Bob? I apologize. Max is trying to apologize here. People, he's trying to say he's sorry.
So
I was with it.
Yeah,
I was with it.
I love this segment. The only nitpick is that I feel like he said I'm sorry to Cole, and if I'm tripping, I'm tripping. But I could have sworn like when him and Cole
he did.
Friend. Okay, all right. So it's just a gimmick to where he obviously just has a hard time, just like most women. They have a hard time saying I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm only saying that because there's a meme on TikTok right now
to our women listeners.
Where the men are like, say this word, onomatopoeia, say this word, anemone, and then they write, say this word, and then the wife is like,
look, this man
You look at the TikTok, you guys.
I've seen it.
I don't know what ladies. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh! Do not throw me under the bus. I am not Darby.
That's crazy.
That's a bar.
It's a bar. It's a bar for sure. It's a bar. Max, Bob, he says he gives Bob the keys to the car. He says, you can have the car, right? They go backstage and whatnot. Bob checks out the car. He likes it. Him and Sheldon hop in, smash off in that bitch. Well, actually, before he smashes off, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. His arm out the window.
He's like, yeah, Bob, you like the car? I just need that thumbs up. You can get it, man. You like the car? You just give me that thumbs up.
He already had the car, bro. He was going
already in it. Shit. Smashes off.
Very sports entertained.
Peeled off.
And so as he peels off,
he could tell they didn't practice it that much because Bob, he jerked the car a little bit. He's like, oh shit. And then, when he drove off, he did like a quick swerve. Like, oh my, that shit was hilarious.
I know how to drive that car at all, bro.
This shit was great. Good.
I know.
I think Bobby almost broke too. He almost broke character in the ring during this segment too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they said Sheldon wasn't gonna. It's not about the women or whatnot. And somebody in the crowd was like, "It should have been," and then like Bob almost like popped, bro. It's like, yo, relax, yo. Overall, I will agree with y'all. It's a highlight. I do look forward to seeing the MJF Hurt Syndicate segments. Like, they are playing the long game with the storytelling here, and I'm not bored. I'm actually really surprised that they haven't jumped into any action. I don't want to see that just yet. I don't want to see anybody turn. I just want to see like how far can we pull this before we need to make it like physical. And honestly, I want to see the thumb. I want to see Paul. That's not crazy. I want to see.
God damn!
Give the thumbs up, yo. That shit was insane. I want to see MJF in the Hurt Syndicate. I want to see how that formula works. You know, at first I was like, oh, Bob versus MJF could work, but now I'm like, what does that group look like? What can they do? It
will look like the Bloodline / Nation of Domination if they do it just right. Rich. Like this is just what this is if they do this right, which they so far they have been. So I'm that's why I'm very sports entertained. I'm very happy. This is like they need to treat this the exact same way that they treated the Tony Storm and Mariah shit. Like let this cook for a while. Like let this eventually lead to MJF getting the Triple B back. And then we get the like Lashley turn and it's like, bruh, like thank you for finally getting something I want. Now I know I can take it from your squirmy ass type of thing, or however route they want to go. But I do not want to see the ending to this until what are we in? We're in April. I need at least until like January.
Do you think he gives?
Damn,
that's kind of crazy. That's
if you play it right, bro. Look how long it took for the Sami Zayn shit.
Well, wait, are you saying you want to see them not be a group until January, or storyline of them together until January?
I don't want to see him get turned on or whatever. Whoever's getting turned on, I'm assuming MJF is going to be the one that gets jumped out. I don't want to see that at least until like January.
Until January. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, all right, damn, nigga.
But it also depends when he finally gets that third thumb, though. Too. Pause.
I think in Texas. I think it all in. That sounds crazy too. This, thumb wars in this bitch.
All right.
If I had four hands, I'd give those titties 4 thumbs down. Rick James, bitch.
Jesus Christ.
What PLE is in? Is it Full Gear or do they move them around?
No. All In is the biggest one in Dallas. And I think that's going to be the one that he gets the turn. Bob is from Dallas. It's a Texas show. It's the biggest show of the year. I think we'll see MJF join Hurt at that point in time.
Right, but I'm saying in terms of the him getting jumped out.
In January.
So what's in December?
I don't think they had one. December's Revolution.
What's in November?
They're starting to try to do ones once a month. I don't know if they have like a full schedule yet, but Full Gear's Revolution. Okay. Full Gear Revolution. Yeah.
Maybe Full Gear is when you could start the
turn,
the cracks. Yeah, the cracks and the seams and
Main event of the show is Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander. This is a tournament match or own match to face Mercedes. I love this match. I thought both women were fucking balling on this. I am a little like confused with just the direction of Chris Statlander, just because I love Stat. And if she's not going for the world title, which I thought she was, then the feud has to be to finish her stuff with Mercedes, which has been like threaded but very lightly threaded. So I don't know. I just want Stat to like get something better. And I know if they're going with the belt collector idea for Mercedes, this is the only time to do it. However, I'm not a fan of belt collector Mercedes, but I do understand. I've said that before, but you know, if that's the play, that's the play.
Right. Well, yeah. The thing with Stat is like, because she wins this, right?
No,
Hayter wins. Okay.
Hayter wins.
Well, yeah, because like Stat. The reason why Hayter wins is because Hayter and Mercedes haven't fought yet. Like Mercedes already beat Stat twice, so if not 3 times, but for sure twice. Yeah, and like Stat's trajectory is very confusing because there was that one time she tried to apologize to Willow, who Willow has. I don't think we've seen her since.
She's been attacking Death Riders.
Dynasty.
She came back.
I think that was Dynasty though, right? When we last saw her.
No, that was more recently. She came back.
That was Dynasty, wasn't it? The pay-per-view.
I think she's after Dynasty too.
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen Willow, but we haven't seen Willow in ring wrestling. Willow has been like overseas and doing her shit overseas.
But it just Anyway, to go off what you were saying, Leonard. Yeah, I feel like Statlander's a fan favorite, so I feel like everyone just wants good for her. And same with Jamie Hayter. Like Jamie Hayter was on top of the world before her injury, and then ever since her return, she's kind of been in like collision limbo-ish sort of, but like she's still getting some opportunities, so that's cool. And her and Mercedes should definitely have a good match. And I feel like Hayter winning was mostly because her and Mercedes haven't fought yet. So we're trying to get a new match we haven't seen.
Yeah, I can actually see that. That makes a lot of sense.
There's always a chance that they do give us there's always a small chance. I doubt it, but there's always a small chance they give us a swerve and Hayter wins because of Athena interference. I doubt it, but
yeah.
Hayter and Tony Storm would be cool because they were in the same team for a little bit before the injuries, and then like they did trade titles with each other. So there is stuff that you could play with that, but I do think the belt collector is the route that they're going with, and I think all in we'll see Tony versus Mercedes.
And I understand that from the aspect of babyface versus heel too, because Hayter is the babyface, Tony's the babyface. You're not doing babyface versus babyface. That's just not a thing technically. But anything's possible. They could swerve on us, and we could see that. SmackDown. I'm starting to feel John Cena's introduction as he brings the homie in and introduces him as the greatest champion or greatest of all time and the last real champion. I do like that. I do like the greatest of all time because that's fire.
It kind of reminds me of the Shane McMahon shit when he was the best in the world.
Yeah,
and like he it kind of reminds me of that. Which I do like that a lot. I do like it.
But before Cena can get out there and speak, we see that Randy comes out to the ring. There's a lot of like personal jabs in here. Randy telling Cena to grow up. We see that there's a void in Cena's heart because Cena doesn't have any children. John says, "How dare you parent shame me?" Congrats, Randy. You have children and you love them. And I was like, that nigga's funny. John also breaks character. I don't think he breaks character. I think he goes and just at this kid and is like, congrats, kid. Your dad is a loser. I'm like, fuck. Yeah. He says he doesn't have kids because, he's been policing these brats for over a quarter century.
Essentially, he's like, I've been raising all these niggas my whole life. I raised generations of y'all. That's pretty much what he said.
Your son dresses like me, which is a crazy thing to say, but it's like he been dressing kids up for years, bro. Like that's real. Orton says that no matter what John feels about the WWE universe, he wouldn't have his fame, his Hollywood career without him. Says he's ungrateful, and whatnot. Overall, Orton's attacking the ego of John and telling him that, like, you're not really that guy. Go have some kids, bring your light back, and come back. You have the most Make-A-Wish, like completions out of everybody, bro. Like, be the good guy you are. You're not this guy.
Yeah, essentially, he was like, "You're not built for this life. Go start a family, my nigga."
Yeah, you don't have voices in your head. You don't got voices. I can see you, John. You good. But it seems that we are getting John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash in St. Louis. My question is, John's move slow and Randy don't take bumps. What are we expecting from this match?
Striking. They're just gonna be punching the shit out of each other in the face and in the stomach. My over under on back spots. Ooh, that sound like back shots.
Yeah,
crazy.
Come on, bro.
That's like. So my over under that includes suplexes, power slams, RKOs, and AAs. I'm gonna go under 20. So I'm gonna go 19 and a half for the match. And that's including all of those slams, like all of them together in totality.
What you got, Hero? What's the expectation? You got
I'm not going to count
this.
I'm not going to count the back shots because when I think about the number, then it throws me off my guard, and then next thing you know, I'm done. But no. I think what DT said, I think it might be a striking. I think it might be a striking heavy match. I think it might be striking heavy. We'll definitely get the DDT, but I think it might be one of those slow potting matches. It probably like a 15-minute match that feels like 30.
I hope I'm wrong,
but Cena's gonna win, obviously. But,
yeah, for sure.
Is there more interference?
The only interference, unless Travis shows up, which is fine. Maybe Cody shows up and accidentally distracts, which slightly starts setting up the Randy Cody stuff. But I feel like that Randy Cody feud, it doesn't have to have a title, but I feel like it kind of should have a title. So I don't want them to initially start that feud yet. I don't know.
Low blow.
Yeah, we'll probably get another low blow. There's a lot of people online who's like, "Whoa, what if Cena does the thing that Randy Orton did to him, where he just like as soon as the match starts, he like hits the ref?" And I'm like, "Well, now that all you guys are saying it, it's probably not going to happen." So thank you for spreading the meme, but it is a good idea. But I doubt it'll happen. But yeah, it'll probably end in like a low blow or something. It's unfortunate Kevin is hurt because I'd throw him out there as like maybe Owens does something, but I don't know. Maybe Travis does show back up. It ain't gonna be The Rock. So.
Yo, if The Rock shows up at Backlash, bro, I'm cooking, bro.
I'm writing a letter. I'm writing a letter.
Cooking. If Rock shows up,
I'm putting notifications on his replies if he showed up in Iowa.
In St. Louis and not Vegas, I'm cooking, bro. Speaking of cooking, Los Garza, Fraxium make it to the main roster, bro. Fraxium is a sight to see. I just got on kind of like more recently, maybe like a couple months ago, but them boys is nice. And the SmackDown tag division just becomes more and more like bangers, bro. Like so many what ifs now.
Yeah, fire. Don't have much to say. The match was heat. Match was heat. It's a good team. They got it. They did get a good reaction. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Chelsea versus Zelina happens this week, and we see that Zelina comes out as the new Women's United States Champion. Initial thoughts, did not see this coming.
Random as fuck.
Random as shit. I'm not mad at Zelina getting the win, but it was out of nowhere. And I also feel like if this was the plan, Chelsea should have had some space on Mania. I think we should at least like let her get her shit off at Mania in some form or fashion, whether that was like her hosting or whether that was like, a quick spot or whatever. I would have loved to see her as a champion at Mania. My question to y'all is that can Zelina build properly with the fans? Now that she has a belt, Does she have the character to get the merch sales up?
No.
Does damn nigga. Because like these are things that the majority of champions in WWE do. I just feel like without the initial build and the story for Zelina, I feel like she's starting downhill already. Like there's already no connection. There is already no like anything that we were accustomed to seeing with Zelina. Like I don't want her process to get undercutted before it even starts, because like Chelsea had Money in the Bank, she had multiple street fights, promos, on screen time, tons of exposure prior to just winning the belt. So I'm just a little unsure about how this looks going forward for Zelina.
If Zelina was a heel, I would say she would have a better chance, but her being a face, I kind of have to agree with DT. I think they're going to try to give her a shot, and I hope they do. But yeah, no, she doesn't. It's hard to connect with her, like unless you're one of the stands of her, or you're just a person who just really is just like, oh, she's super attractive, so I'm just going to pay attention to that. Then like, yeah, no, I don't think she has a crazy connection with a lot of the fan base. Like, a lot of wrestling people, or I wouldn't say a lot. I would say like there's a huge part of the wrestling community that don't watch anime, so they don't understand that she's dressing as Todoroki or she's dressing as Street Fighter lady. Like to a lot of wrestling fans, she's just coming out in costumes. Her promos are great. She's really good on the mic, but again, her babyface version of herself is, to me, it doesn't really connect as much as it should. Which is why I don't think she gets the reactions that she should. And also her music kind of sucks, but a lot of people's music sucks, which is another reason why people don't get good reactions, because no one knows what the fucking music is.
I feel like, why her and not, respectfully, like not Michin? Michin had the resume, the work, she's putting in the effort and whatnot. We for sure thought the next United States Women's Champion was going to be Michin.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened here?
I don't have an exact answer, but I would say it's like, you could theorize that maybe that was part of Alistair's contract, similar to how Lana or CJ Perry has a Legends deal all of a sudden, even though she's
now you're speaking my language.
Not technically a legend. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm theorizing. I'm theorizing. I'm not saying it's true. Or like you could argue is like, as far as, even though she did get released, she did come back. But if you don't count her being released, like she has been here, she was here longer than Michin. And maybe this was just H or whoever's just like, all right, this is your moment. I'm going to give you a chance to cook. So this was it. And they wanted, obviously Raw after Mania and SmackDown after Mania, like they want big things to happen. We had I forgot what the fuck happened. Like we had some good shit happen on Raw, and then we got a title change on SmackDown. No, we got a title change on Raw also. So, like, I think it was just also a small shakeup, but also to give someone who has a long tenure, who has worked her ass off, has a big fan base that super supports her, and is like, oh, she doesn't get a chance, she doesn't get a good shake at things, yada yada yada. I feel like this not to, I don't want to label it the here nigga damn, but it's kind of like a here nigga damn. Like now it's your time to finally cook. You've been here for 8 years on and off. This is your chance, and now your husband just came back, so we want to have good face.
You want to make sure you happy.
You want to make sure everybody happy.
DT, what you got? Come on, DT. Wrap it up.
First and foremost, if you're gonna hear nigga damn anybody, then hear nigga damn Dakota Kai. That's one. Secondly, right? I don't. That's my point. That is my point. That's my point. If you're just gonna do that for anybody, just do it for everybody. Just do it for everybody. We watched. This is. I'm not gonna do it to him. Okay. You are undercutting her growth before she has a chance to actually grow. You already spoke about evident things. No one knows her music. No one's connecting with her. You said, yeah, she has great promos. I haven't really seen them. I saw the little vignette on the bike that looked like an Akira bike. Shout out to you. For the time that I have been watching wrestling, she's had 2 big moments. Queen of the Ring, which was like the year before I really got tapped in, and then the match at Puerto Rico. The match at Puerto Rico is when you should have capitalized on her then. Now, I don't know or can't remember if she got hurt or whatever happened. But either way, you're trying to give her a push. This is not the way to do it if you want to build her credibly. Who's been in the U.S. women's title scene? It's been Chelsea. It's been Michin. It's been B-Fab, and probably one other person I can't think of. If you want to appropriately put Zelina in this spot, what you should have done was built on the conflict or created conflict between the number one contender, which at the time was Michin, because she was second for the that tourney, and then have Zelina come in, have them fight, have it spill with the secret Hervis. You bring in B-Fab. Now you got 3-on-3. Something happens there. It breaks down whatever. Hervis is barred from the ring. You do a fucking triple threat between Michin, Zelina, and fucking Chelsea. Or you even do a new number one contender match between Michin and Zelina to get there, and then that person faces Chelsea. But either way, just having her pop into the match, she wins it because it's supposed to be shocking and surprising. Like, you just deaded the championship and all the work that Chelsea did over the last 6 months to me, in my mind. Because now you have the belt on somebody who no one has a connection with.
It could be a chance. It could be a chance for Chelsea to be the first 2-time. Like, maybe Zelina doesn't hold it super long.
Then why put the belt on her instead?
What you're saying? Everything you said isn't wrong. This is now I'm just like trying to be like, okay, well, maybe this is the version. Maybe this is what they were trying to see, or maybe this is what they're trying to play. But I feel like people like Dakota, like they're people like an Ivy Niles. Well, honestly, I wouldn't even put Ivy Niles in this comment. Like, we're talking about people who've been here for a very long time who have not gotten a singles title. Zelina is one of the oldest ones, and again, I didn't necessarily want to give it the here nigga damn title. I'm just saying, like, maybe like if it maybe it is that. I don't know, but
then like make her fight uphill. Then don't like make people buy in. If she's a face, make people buy in by seeing her get her ass beat every week or jumped or whatever the case is. Or Chelsea in a very comedic but serious way is like, I got the Hervis with me. She can't touch me. Da-da. Like, there's so many things that you could do to build Zelina in a month, 2 months, that just doing this randomly, it literally comes off as, hey, here you go.
Well,
here, nigga, damn.
According to commentary, this is the third match, and every time the Hervis wasn't with Chelsea, then Zelina won. Whether one time it was by countout, the other time was like they were trying to save the storyline for people who weren't watching in the audience. But again, that doesn't negate anything you also just said. Like, it does feel, I don't want to say willy-nilly, but it does feel kind of rushed. Like, they could have played this very babyface sympathy card towards, like, I've been trying to get the singles title for my whole goddamn career. I've been in NXT since fucking 2017 and still haven't had a singles title. Yeah, I've been Queen of the Wing, yada, yada, but I keep getting screwed up. Like, they could have built it a little longer to where, like, what you were saying, like, they could have, like, would a babyface always has the odds stacked against them, and then, like, it does feel very rushed or fast-paced. I agree
Absolutely.
with that. I think this is going to be one of those moments where you either seek or swim. Is like, either you're going to prove to us that you can hold a singles title, and like all your fan bases, all your stands, they keep adding me and whatever, they're not crazy and delusional, or like maybe you should just be a manager. Like, we'll see. Like, I don't know. This might be one of those sink or swim moments type of things.
I think that's exactly what it is. The title can either make you the star or it's going to be too heavy. We're going to see.
Doesn't mean it's right, but I don't know.
Things being too heavy. Mello got a new chain.
Let's go. Do your chain hang low? Do your chain hang low? Do it wobble to the flow? Hey,
there's a shine in the light. Is it black? Is it or something like that? Or something like that?
Yeah. That's right. Gritty. You do all that. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that chain.
We knew the hate was coming.
It's coming big time. Nick, pause. Wow, crazy work.
Andre Loads.
I can't stand this nigga, bro.
What, bro?
At all.
What, bro?
What? cannot sit here and say Andre Rose.
I thought I was being topical.
No. hey, mute your mic. Mute up, nigga.
That is insane.
That is so crazy, but it was so fucking funny. Fuck. Okay, Miz gives Melo and Andre the Giant chain to celebrate him winning the Andre Giant Battle Royal. He says he's now the 10th wonder of the world, and he's him, right?
Gasses him up, though. Gasses him
in my head.
Miz
Tiffany got a Mania win. Lyra got a Becky feud. Braun with Seth in one of the biggest storylines ever. Take this chain, my nigga. You good. And Melo's the most talented out of all of the motherfuckers. But that's just...
and he gets a trophy. It's not just a chain. It's a trophy, too.
Look, you right. You do. You got a big trophy in the chain. Like, shine on, bro. Shine on. It's all right. I'm not hating, bro. I'm just saying the facts. In a very hater monotone way.
Your shine on.
This leads to Miz feeling like he is being overlooked. He goes to the ring, goes to the promo, goes to the crowd, and tells people, "Hey, I'm still the goddamn Miz. I don't care who's back there. They ain't fucking with me."
Iced out too.
Wrong.
Look at that white suit.
In the white suit,
man.
Colonel
Style.
Sanders, nigga.
Come on now. we talking about style here.
That man out there in the all white.
But you're right.
People about their medulla oblongatas over there. Look at
all of a sudden, the lights hit black, and you hear that sexy ass the guitar. You see the candles, for the ambiance. You know what I'm saying? It ain't Netflix, but we can still chill. And you hear the.
No man is ever truly good. No man is ever truly evil.
Bro, he came back with the
Aleister
OG
Black,
song, baby.
He got his OG song. I was so happy that he got his OG music back. I was like, if Def Rebel fucked up my boy, I'm gonna be pissed off. Aleister Black is back in the WWE. We've talked about it, we reported about it a while ago. It's finally good to see him, back in the WWE ring. Immediately, Black Mass to The Miz. Kicks the living shit out of The Miz, bro. Love it entirely.
You saw them red bottoms?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My wife pointed those out
saw
there.
them red
bro,
bottoms.
Style, bro. We talk about the Miz. Miz ain't broke. That's one thing. Hey, he might have sold his
Miz
house,
ain't broke.
but he ain't broke. He's always
He
winning.
ain't broke.
Look at his wife. Look at his kids. Look at his car.
And his balls are massive.
Very massive. It's hard to carry. You know how people wear black because of slimming? He had to wear white because the balls were just so big. That
Jesus Christ, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, Hitty is back from vacation. We gotta relax, nigga.
P. Hitty?
Hitty is back, nigga. Can't stop, won't stop. Hero. Like, Jesus Christ. The funny thing about Aleister Black coming back is that he's also still rocking the eye.
Man,
the 5-year
a real worker, man.
Injury to the eye,
which we talked about. We talked about before he even left AEW. He's like, the man beware. Hey, he's telling a story that's so old,
bro.
Real worker, man. I love it. Keep kayfabe alive,
solid. Bro. I got a quick question before we get out of this, though. Right, like we know Aleister had like this history of injuries and whatnot, and we want him to have like a great run here. My question is, does the supernatural gimmick still work? We know we had it with the White Six and whatnot. And we saw the vignettes, or not vignettes, but like the way they built the White Six and how that just connected immediately. Will that still get over with the fans today? It has been a while. How does that work now? Because all we know is Bray Wyatt and Undertaker to be the ones that are madly successful with it.
Right. So is Aleister in WWE, he never technically had powers. Like he might have teleported every once in a while, but he never technically had powers. So I don't want to say he's supernatural. I want to, if anything, he's just more gothic metal. I'll rise in my entrance as if I'm in a coffin. But he's never had shooting lightning or having fire come out of anywhere or coming out of from the ring or something like that, as far as an Undertaker or Bray. Yeah, no, Bray had powers. Yeah. There was one time Bray shot lightning or some shit, and then you think of the Fiend. The Fiend was a demon. It was It was like his Hulk transformation.
It's true.
I mean, in AEW, Malachi sort of had powers for a while, but then it like kind of died down. So I want to let it play out because since he is on the same show as the Wyatt Six, so and I feel like Wyatt Six is definitely like semi supernatural. Obviously, they still get hurt and shit. But to answer your question, it really depends on the presentation. Because I feel like supernatural in wrestling can still work. Like, there's a reason why people still enjoy wrestling. Like, it's still like you can like I said the other week, and like how DT quoted me, like you can only disband your you can only disband your disbelief. Like to like you could,
my disbelief can only be disbelief. So disbelief.
Yeah, for so like for so far, where it's like like all right, where it's like like. Is it full Undertaker or is it full like Broken Matt Hardy or is it like full like Boogie? Like there's different spectrums of the tree and like how supernatural someone can like be or whatever. And as long as it makes sense, I think it could work out. Like Wyatt Six, even though like their debut, they theoretically it looked like they killed 12 people. Like it looked like they literally committed homicide and murder and shit, but they were able to make it make sense and like they weren't like indestructible in the ring or anything like that. They could still take damage and whatnot. So the answer is it's a yes and no answer, which it sounds like a cop out, but it really depends on the presentation and like how like what kind of powers does he have? Is he shooting fire on some like Chris Jericho I'm a wizard shit, which is fine, I guess.
That shit was funny. I forgot about that.
But or is it like I'm gonna turn the ring into worms like that Bray Wyatt Randy Orton WrestleMania match that everyone hated. Like is it like what are the powers? If
what's the limitations here?
Yeah, like if his only power is I know how to telepathically tell the people in the back who control the lights to turn off all the lights. That's fine. Sure. All right. You got light powers. Okay, cool. A lot of people have light powers, but like if you're teleporting and you're shooting lightning and shit, then that's a different conversation.
What you got, DT? Supernatural work or not?
I think for the Wyatt Six it worked because people love Bray Wyatt and they wanted to restore the feeling. I think that's part of the reason why the Wyatt Six have had such a hard time coming back. You can say there's been injuries. You can say they're trying to do the Alexa Bliss thing. We just don't know what they're doing. So I don't know. I'm a lipo. Let it play out.
Bet. All right. So yeah, it could possibly work out. We'll see how that goes. Like I said before, the only ones who were truly supernatural and was successful was the Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, and Jacob Fatu. Supernatural.
Super werewolf, super Samoan.
No, that's supernatural, superhuman. That reminds me. I never need to hear Wade. I never need to hear Wade Barrett do that. I never need to hear him do that ever in my life again. Never in the history.
It sounded like he was gargling Listerine.
Nigga, never in the history of my life do I ever need to hear Wade Barrett do a yada that I mean. Ever. It with an accent, nigga. You said yard, matey.
And then Joe Tessitore did it too.
No.
Look, if he gets yada that I mean over and the crowd starts like anticipating and saying it, that's insane.
Jeez, that man is out of here, insane. Bro. That's absolutely crazy.
They're already trying to, if you listen, they're already trying to say all gas, no brakes with it.
Which is fine.
If he lets them, it'd be some of the hardest shit that you, but he says it like he says it because he's not paying attention to the crowd. But if he pays attention, though, hopefully somebody told him in the back, like, "Yo, listen to the crowd. They're trying to. They're going to
do it. Yeah.
If he sets them up so they can say it, it'd be the hardest shit in wrestling.
I don't want people throughout the country saying "yada." I mean.
No, we're talking about all gas.
My bad.
No. You missed it. We were talking about how we never need to hear Wade Barrett say that in our life.
It is. I can't even do it. I can't even do it. I'd rather Wade Barrett say it than fucking Pat McAfee.
I don't need nobody saying it. No. You ain't got no culture for enough. You ain't got enough culture for that. Match of the night, actually match of the goddamn week here.
of the week. It might be of the year.
I mean,
It's
the women's triple threat is still really high. It's really.
I don't know, nigga. This
Listen,
motherfucker was cooking.
One has weapons.
Listen.
One doesn't need weapons.
True,
Bro,
true,
a nigga
true,
gave his
true.
leg up for wrestling, bro. I'm sorry. Like
That is fire.
I'm gonna just listen. The people that are saying, "Why couldn't this match be on WrestleMania? This should have been on."
It should
We
have been
wouldn't
on-
have got the leg. We wouldn't have got the leg, bro. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say.
We wouldn't have
The
got
leg.
The leg wasn't
leg
even the best
made-
spot of the whole show.
Nigga,
Bro,
there
it
were
was
so
pretty-
many
The
spots in this
spear,
match.
the silencer into the chair, the other stuff.
It was. Listen, this match was fire from
Fire.
post to post,
Bell to
coast to
bell.
coast. This shit was. It was. I listen, and I didn't know until afterwards, but I didn't know that it was the whole match was essentially a love letter or a callback to the first TLC match at WrestleMania because it's been 25 years. But I literally like tweeted, I was like, if you never seen that match, this is as close as you're going to get to it. Like this is professional wrestling. And I'm sorry, but to me, the prosthetic leg, bro, do you know what has to go right for that to happen? One, there has to be a nigga with half a leg. That's the first thing. The second thing is Montez has to see the leg. The third thing is Johnny has to be cool with getting hit with the leg and still sell the leg. Like that was not
That was not supposed to happen.
There's no fucking way you can tell me that was planned. They didn't know there was a nigga up there with half a leg.
Wait, okay,
That shit was fire.
Can we talk about Montez's fit in the entrance with the HBK
The
callback?
HBK?
bro.
The
Yeah,
HBK, I
that
was
shit was
like
heat, bro.
HBK.
That shit was heat, bro.
The Chris Bay does the same colorway too. I thought it could be like a little bit of a shout out to both.
It could have been both. Easily could have been both.
That shit was fire.
Shout
It
out
was
Bianca.
hella-
Oh, yeah,
That definitely
She more than
definitely shout out
likely-
Bianca.
definitely, yeah.
Probably orchestrated that whole color scheme. One of my favorite spots of the match was Johnny G smacking Shelly with the chair wrapped around his neck.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my God.
That-
And it looked like that.
Ah,
yeah,
Bro,
yeah. So it's
that
like that
shit
looks like a
was
fucking. In the way, yeah, the way he
fire,
sold it too. Like
Yes, bro. This
sorry,
this
I
match
would have been
was
scared to take that spot. You got me fucked up.
nigga.
I would have been scared
What?
to take that spot, bro.
There was a lot of
this-
scary spots.
It
Yeah, no,
was
absolutely.
entertaining as fuck. These men went out there and threw out a fucking show. I
They all,
think
they
I
all
put
made
on
a lot
Blue
of
Sky already.
yeah. They all made a
Them-
lot of statements talking about like they felt the
Mhm.
love. They heard all the the people like, oh man, this should have been a card, or like, why is this on the card? Yada yada. Like they felt it and like they went out there and they put on a fucking classic. Yeah,
Easy.
no, like I have two nitpicks. One of them is not being on Mania. You could have took off the New Day match. You could have took off something else, or just
Mhm.
rearranged something else. But I could hear the argument that it might not have got the same time. And this was a
Right.
22
Yep.
minute match, so sure, I could hear that argument. But I mean, Charlotte and Tiffany was 20 minutes. And I'm not saying that should have been shortened because then people would be like, then they're like, oh, you
Women have short
women
matches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you don't want to have that. But then again, at the end of the day, we still didn't need the New Day. We still didn't need the New Day match with War Raiders, and there was another match that you could have taken off, and whatever. But my other nitpick is that I feel like I feel like it should have been Pretty Deadly and Los Garza in it. Honestly, just based off of the storytelling that they were doing throughout the last couple of months, like there were multiple teams involved, but only 3 teams got the spotlight, and I feel like Pretty Deadly and Los Garza should have also been in this match. But it just would have been longer.
They can be in the next one, I think, and that sounds disrespectful, but I literally mean the Profits just eliminated. They wiped out 2 of the teams that were competing. If you wanted to run it back, different stipulation, you could do that. Last team standing match or something. You could do something at Backlash to get Los Garza and Pretty Deadly in there.
You could.
If you add those 2 teams in, you run the risk of a couple of things in my mind. Too many things needing to happen at once, and then you don't get the opportunity to showcase the match in a way where, like I said, it was a love letter to the match prior with those 3 teams. Like that, like it took me a minute as I'm watching all the spots happen. I'm like, oh, like in the most positive way. I'm like, I've seen this before. Like, this feels like familiar, but like in a positive way. And then I remembered as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, this shit is great. Like, you have the spear off the ladder spot. They broke a table through a ladder. There was countless dives from the ladders over the ropes. Fucking Montez getting stuck inside the ladder. Like, there was so many things that happened. Obviously, the prosthetic leg.
The skull and bones.
Dawkins. Yeah, the skull and bones at the table.
Yeah,
like, there was so many, like, they balled. I wish there was a way that I could, like, personally give them money, like all 6 of them. Like, I ain't got much, nigga. Here,
you gotta buy 3 shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I do agree. I see what you're saying. Where it's like, yeah, no, it is a leveler. So if you would add multiple teams, and it kind of takes away from the original TLC. So yeah, no, I do see that. It's just, oh man, I just wish they could have added them to some extent. But then again, like you said, it does take away from the leveler. But I've seen, I don't like the first TLC match when you were getting back into wrestling, the one that I showed you where fucking Xavier launches the trombone.
Yeah.
That was that was a 4 or 5 man team too, like tag match, like. So it could have been fire. Like, we could have got but then again, I
forgot about that shit.
Bro, it's in my notes. Anytime someone wants to get like someone who wants to get into wrestling, that's one of the first 3 matches I show them. Just because it's like, this is why I love wrestling. I watched a man who wasn't in the match, Tom Brady, a trombone into someone's back. They fall into a ladder. Like, it's hard to explain this without the context of wrestling.
That's also like a prosthetic leg situation. You know what has to go right for the trombone to hit you in the right spot? He has to throw that perfectly. Like,
from the outside of the ring.
Right.
Like, Xavier was on the outside of the ring. Fucking whichever, I think it was Kalisto. Anyway, I hear both of it. I wish the other 2 teams could have got involved just because of like the storyline. Like, there was that whole scene on SmackDown where Aldis had the Charlie Day meme from It's Always Sunny, where it's like this team and you have a string with it, and like you have the string like he's an FBI agent, like. So, and seeing that, I was like, oh, we're getting this multi-person thing. But with the triple threat, I do see the love letter, and it's kind of hard to take away from that. But so that's where my thing is. It was like, if you were going to stick with the triple threat, then you should have just put it on Mania, because then that makes the love letter more complete to me. Because then I agree. It's at Mania.
Yeah,
you just don't get the leg, bro. And to like,
there could have been
to me.
We don't know if there wasn't no one with no leg in Vegas, but you're right.
No, after Austin, no.
No, he's right.
After Austin,
it might have cost.
There'd have been no crowd interactions, nigga.
Them tickets might have cost an arm and a leg, honestly.
There you go. Metaphorically, they already gave it to you.
But I like that kind of fan interaction and the way that it was accepted. Like, to me, that's fucking dope. Like, that's some shit that you would see at like an independent or something. Like, you wouldn't normally see that at a major promotion.
It gives me WW or WCW versus NWO N64, where it's like you just go to the crowd and pick out a weapon
and pick something.
Yeah. It was like,
what I pulled from this, I didn't catch the love letter to the TLC until you said it, and I was like, that's fucking brilliant. But also, these were the most experienced tag teams on SmackDown. Everybody in this ring has been doing this shit for at least, 7+, Profits have been really experienced. Motor City, we know, like, they fucking grandfathered fucking, tag team wrestling. And then you have Ciampa and Gargano, who's also just so much wrestling knowledge in those 2 entirely. So I'm not mad at it not being the multi-man with 4 or 5 teams, because this is the perfect 3 teams that you could have done.
Not mad. Just a nitpick.
The Mania part of it, I'm bittersweet on, because I do understand Night 1 could have used his energy for sure. Night 1 could have used this motherfucker like nobody's business. But also, like you said, the time constraints, the pressure of doing it on a Mania, they don't have I don't think they have enough the freedom that they got to do it on a SmackDown as they would on a Mania, without the constant, like, okay, we got to make sure the spot happens and hurry up and get our, get in and get out kind of thing. So yes, Profit should have been on Mania, but also no, this was the better outcome for that. Like, this match was fucking phenomenal. Number 2 on my WWE list for the year. You know I'm a sicko, so the Kevin and Sammy is still number 1 right now. But
Respect.
this match was fucking great, bro. It was fucking amazing.
I want to call out one spot that's underrated, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. But knowing that Montez is afraid of heights, him jumping from the turnbuckle onto the ladder and like landing on the ladder and it not fall, like to me it's underrated because that's some shit I would never in my life do. It's just it's not happening. Sorry.
What else is underrated? He climbed the ladder from the inside out.
Yeah,
like I've never seen that happen before. I was like, this is the first time I've seen somebody climb the ladder from the inside. I didn't think that was a possibility, bro. Montez was definitely the MVP. He was balling out. He was balling out, yo. And you knew he was afraid of heights because when he's pulling down the belt, he was struggling a little bit to unhook it. It was a lot of pressure up there. He was like, "Fuck, I gotta hurry up and get this bitch off." But yeah, nothing but high praise for that match, bro. Like that's good.
And the right team won. The right team.
Oh yeah, no, they needed to retain. And
yeah,
they needed to retain.
And there was multiple times in the match where it was like, who was going to win? Like, you was, oh shit, Johnny and them might have it, or Motor City might have it. Like, they sold that really well too. I thought all teams had an equal chance of walking out with that. So when Montez actually got it, I was like, fuck, that was like the greatest finish that could have happened to this match.
And they put all 23 minutes on YouTube for that match
immediately. You had to, bro.
No, yeah, this morning they put it. Yeah, they put it on this morning. It was like, nah, y'all, everyone got to see this. Like,
everybody got to see this shit, bro. It's too good not to. Throw this one up.
And shout out to WWE. Shout out to WWE real quick for having 4 banger triple threat matches in a week. But as far as just 2025 goes, I'm gonna throw AEW in there too, just with the Kenny Speedball Ricochet match. We've had a lot of good triple threat matches this year. Yeah. And honestly, this might be it. I don't know if we're gonna get any better triple threat matches. Usually, triple threat matches are just okay because there's too much somebody sleeping and there's too much let's wait for this person to climb up the turnbuckle so we can catch them. Like all of these triple threat matches that I just mentioned, for the most part, all of them were bangers, especially this particular week. But again, I'm gonna still give Dynasty a shout out because the Kenny Ricochet Speedball one, that was a heater too. So
that was a heater.
Wrestling wise, we've gotten this year and the triple threat we've been eating. Yeah. The triple threat they have
first quarter of the year, triple threats has been running it. So
man.
The only problem they're gonna run into is now after that match, you can't have another tag ladder match because at least for a hot minute, because it's gonna pale in comparison. Like you can't put another tag match next.
Yeah, you can.
Who's in it? What's
give me Fraxium and Lucha. Give me Fraxium and Lucha Bros. And you're gonna watch some crazy shit happen.
Add the New Day Usos into it. If we get crazy, hey, we can go on WWE Universe right now. Let's get crazy.
Give me Fraxium and Lucha Bros and watch what the fuck happens. I guarantee we'll be right back here like, hey, nigga, you was right.
You think it's beating that match what we just saw last night?
I promise you.
It depends on who. Oh, wait, are we talking about another triple threat? Or are you just saying just Fraxium versus Lucha Bros?
No, Fraxium versus Lucha. He said tag team.
Just those two. Oh, I don't think that's gonna be a triple threat. We gotta keep it in the same realm.
That's gonna be that's difficult. The next time they're gonna be able to do something close to that, it's probably gonna be one of the Money in the Bank matches because you can't put another ladder match close. You just can't. There's no you can't do that. That match needs time to breathe. Because you put something behind it, it's not. People are gonna compare that
for sure
to that, and it's not gonna They shut it down for a hot second.
There's a reason we haven't. There's a reason we haven't got a Hell in a Cell since Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Those kind of matches, you take the ball and go home. Ain't nobody playing no more. I
don't want to see if it's not gonna be that and built that way. I don't want to see a Hell in a Cell match for at least another year. Yeah.
All right, people. That is the episode. Once again, shout out to everybody listening. Whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, iHeartRadio. We have some people out there too. Shout out and thank y'all for tuning in. But I'm going to get out of here. It's been real. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Too sweet.
Believe in the wave.